my research would take on a very, very different and more public character, that I would have to, for example, do something which I largely loathe doing, which is talk to people rather than at them. And that I would have to kind of go out and about in the world instead of sitting in my little room. And so that became a very, very different sort of experience, working collaboratively.
And I think with what Will's doing here is that this is a really excellent example of a mainstream author or a literary writer, you know, bringing himself into this space and seeing what happens, literally into the space.
And I want to ask a question rather more specifically about this. I mean, when we read, whether we read, non-fiction, prose or fiction, we are blind and deaf. When you read a book, we see nothing with our eyes, we hear nothing with our ears. We have to imagine it in our heads.
Or you can ask yourself the question, I can see Will in Prague, I can hear Will talking to a physicist about black holes and the impact that might have had on Kafka. How did these things affect Will and what he wrote? And there's no real answer to that, and that is why this is an intriguing piece of work. There is no real answer. Everybody's answer will be different, and that makes it a fantastic project.
Even the act of writing in word processing programs, I would argue, creates an element of extended mind. It makes it no longer necessary to form sentences well, let alone paragraphs, let alone pages or books, in your mind. There is no requirement for it. And I would argue that all of this vitiates the ability of people to maintain long attention spans and large quantities of conceptual information and factual information in their minds. And we shall see.